Okay, so your baby's heartbeat has been down really low for about 5 minutes now. We're gonna give her 30 more seconds. I'm gonna like cry saying this, I was so scared. Okay, so she's like, we're gonna give her 30 more seconds and then we need to take you in to do a C-section. Hi guys, welcome back.
What's up?
Hi, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, my name's Miley.
And I'm Trey.
And today we are going to talk about our birth story. Well, one of our birth stories. We have 2 kids.
Yes.
You can see it, the name of our channel, Miley J and Trey. N is who we're gonna be talking about today, Naiya. Subscribe right in the corner if you haven't. And here we go.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, more steps. Like this video and shop Miley J Boutique.
Yep, link.
If you like this talk. Talk, Trey. Go for it.
Link is in the description down below, and I think.
And right here. Click it right here.
Over here, and also use code Miley J and Trey for monies off of your order.
All right, now
we can enter into the video.
Okay. Anyways, where do we start? Also, you should watch our video. We'll also link it up here right now of how we didn't know I was pregnant for 6 months. Right. So that was the story of Naiya leading up to finding out we were pregnant. Now, skip forward just 3 months after finding out we were pregnant. Now here is our labor and delivery birth story. So leading up to the end of my pregnancy, when I was about like 37, 38 weeks, I started asking my OB what he thought about induction. Because originally I had been worried, like, what's the soonest you can induce me? Because like I wanted to be induced before my due date because Trey was playing football in college and was gonna have some away games.
Right. And
I didn't want him to miss the birth, and I also didn't want him to miss his game. I brought it up to my doctor and he shot it down. Basically said like, with your first baby, I will not induce until you are a week over. And he said like, that's when I won't let you go past that. Like if you are still pregnant at 41 weeks, that's when I'm inducing, and I won't induce you before that with your first baby. It's just putting you at a really high risk for C-section. Well, honestly, he might have said that he would, but really highly cautioned me.
Yeah.
And so we came to the decision that Trey would stay home from his game when I was, I think, 39 weeks.
39, so yeah. Stayed back from one of the games, talking to my coaches. Cause like she said, I didn't want to miss my first kid being born. Like that's a special moment that you want to be a part of.
But because my OB wouldn't induce me, that's when then I was Googling all the things that you've probably heard of how to induce labor.
Go into labor, yeah.
So I was eating all the spicy foods, bouncing on my birth ball, doing squats, everything.
Everything.
His football coach, because he didn't want Trey to miss that weekend, a few days before the game, told me to come to the facility, to come to their stadium
and run the stadiums, right?
Bleachers, yeah. So I was 39 weeks and just running up and down the bleachers for like an hour, trying to induce labor.
Because they didn't want me to miss the game because pretty big deal.
Oh my god. So he missed the game. I didn't go into labor. 40 weeks came. I'm still doing all the tips and tricks, everything you think of to induce labor. Nothing happened. So then 41 weeks, I'm still, and meanwhile they like test for dilation stuff. I'm like not even the one yet. Because I kept being like, can you strip my membranes? Like that can like help induce labor. And they're like, we can't even do that yet because you're not even to a 1, like you're not even dilated, you're not even close. She hadn't even dropped or anything. Her head was still way up high, like nothing was going on. So 39.
And I think with us not finding out, like we didn't know exactly a firm date on when she got pregnant. Miley believed that they had nailed one down, but I think we were still kind of off. So I don't know if she was really 41 weeks or not because we didn't know when she really got pregnant. So it was a tough one to even judge for like the guy. It was tough.
Like towards the end of my pregnancy, so I only knew the last 12 weeks of my pregnancy that I was pregnant. And so during those 12 weeks, we did several ultrasounds, which normally you wouldn't really have ultrasounds that late. But because they were just trying to measure her constantly to
see,
estimate the best due date. And it was tricky because her head was measuring 2 weeks or more ahead of the rest of her body.
Right.
So technically, like when I went into be induced, like her head on ultrasound was already measuring like 43 weeks, 44 weeks, but yeah, her body was 40, so it's like, I don't know.
We don't really know still.
but yeah, so 41 weeks, I drove, like, I remember the night before just not being able to sleep because I was going in at like 7 a.m. the next morning to go be induced.
Yes.
So we drove the 30 minutes to the hospital. And
we will put a picture right here or right there of you outside the hospital. I took it.
I don't like that picture.
I took it. It's a pretty good picture.
We go in and they started me not on Pitocin yet. They inserted a pill, not the balloon, but what is the pill that they insert in your cervix to try to get things going. And I should say right now, my cervix is weird. I don't know what it is, but literally the first nurse goes like, put the pill up there and can't find my cervix. And this is a teaching hospital, so there was always like kind of multiple nurses and interns and stuff coming in. And she was like, I can't find her cervix. I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, you come here, this is the weirdest thing. And they're like they're like feeling like, it feels so weird in here, what? And like finally found it, and it's like super left and posterior and like down, like it is not angled above my apparently.
Can you say on YouTube?
It's not a swear word.
I just don't know.
You think we're gonna get our monetization taken away for saying
I just don't know if you can say
I think you can say
I don't want to risk it.
So basically anytime they would come in to check how far dilated it was or anything, I would have to like lift myself up and like they would really have to dig in there, and it hurt so bad every time they were just trying to check me for dilation, because I don't know why my cervix is so far back and hard to find. They gave me the pill to put my cervix, and so that went on for a couple hours, and then basically nothing had changed, didn't do anything. So then they started Pitocin. Things were going good for a couple hours. They basically tell us like, oh, it's gonna be like at least 12 hours, like 12 plus hours before this baby's here. Like you haven't even dilated to a 1 yet. So they told Trey, because Trey and his sister were there and they wanted to go get something to eat
or something like that. Yeah. So when I heard that, well, it's gonna be 12 hours, I need some food then.
So Trey leaves to go get food with his sister.
When I left, she was feeling okay. Like,
yeah, everything was fine.
I
was on my laptop. I was like taking selfies like, oh, about to have a baby, feeling fine. And then like 10 minutes later,
all hell broke loose.
Suddenly in rushes all of these nurses, like 5 or 6 nurses, rushes in.
Again, I'm not there.
Yeah, so I'm by myself. No family's there yet.
Nobody's there, yeah.
And they come in and put me on oxygen and give me a shot. And they're not really telling me anything. They roll me over and say, you need to get on all 4s. And so I'm on all 4s, and they're just like, take deep breaths. They're like, baby's getting a little bit sleepy. We just need to move her around.
What does that mean? The baby's getting sleepy? Like, what does that mean? Like, what does that mean? Be real. Like, that's one thing I wish hospitals would do a bit more of. Like, tell me what's really happening. Like, don't come here and tell me, oh, the baby's getting sleepy.
To stress out and make it worse.
Well, when they come here and tell you the baby's getting sleepy, what did you think?
I knew something was up, but I didn't know the full thing because they're not really telling me anything. And they're just like, the one nurse is just like rubbing my back. They did honestly act like this was pretty routine. Like, we're just gonna put you over on to your hands and knees so that we can get baby moving again, so we can make she moved off the monitor or something like that. And so I still didn't really know what the shot was. I found out later that the shot was to stop my contractions. And so they're rubbing my back and stuff, and finally, like one nurse, she was the sweetest nurse ever. I did really love her. She finally then whispered in my ear, was like honest, and was like, okay, so your baby's heartbeat has been down really low for about 5 minutes now. We're gonna give her 30 more seconds. I'm gonna like cry saying this, I was so scared. Okay, so she's like, we're gonna give her 30 more seconds, and then we need to take you in to do a C-section. And so I'm like, immediately, I'm like, where's my phone? I need to call Trey. Like, before that, I had like 5 minutes of them trying to calm down that I could have been calling him, but I didn't know it was something crazy serious yet. And so immediately, I grabbed my phone. I didn't have service in the hospital. I had Wi-Fi, so I was able to Facebook message my mom, because iMessage wasn't working for some reason either. So I was able to message my mom on Facebook and say, call Trey, they're about to do a C-section. Naiya's heartbeat, like it was like at like 20 beats, like it's supposed to be like 150, like
slow.
It was getting slower till like her heart wasn't beating almost. And so it was really scary. They had me on oxygen to try to give her more oxygen. So I'm panicking, trying to get a hold of Trey, but luckily, like right after I finally sent that text to my mom and everything, and I'm crying and freaking out, Naiya's heart rate, I hear the beeping getting faster and faster, and see on the little monitor that it's gotten higher and higher and higher until it was over 150. And the nurse was like, see, like she was just a little bit sleepy, like back to that, and was like, you just, like, well, just be more careful with the Pitocin now. And they told me, I know you're not, like, did you not feel that? Are you feeling contractions yet? And I said, no. And she's like, okay, because you had yeah, well, she said you were having contractions super fast, like no break in between. Said you had had a contraction for 8 minutes straight. So that's what scared baby a bit, stopped her.
Stretched her out, they say.
So that was really scary. And so then I was just sitting there. Trey got back right after that. He got there really fast.
Yeah, so when I got the call from her mom, me and my sister, we were already on our way back to the hospital. We were like 15 minutes away. And that call like stressed me out. I'm like, there's no way that I just left the hospital. I've been sitting there all day, and I decided to leave for 10 minutes to get some food. Like
it'll be 12 hours from now.
Like, and I'm about to miss. They told me 12 hours. So I book it back to the hospital. Like my sister, we switched drivers. My sister drove, like running. It was probably not the best thing to do, but we were running red lights. Like we were driving fast and furious. It was pretty crazy. So I get to the hospital. We don't even go to the parking garage. Like we pull up to the front of the hospital. We just park the car, and we tell valet like move it. And then I ran up the steps. Like it was the scariest feeling not being able to be there for her during that time, because like I know how she felt doing that, and I wasn't there even like to calm her down. It was just, I felt bad for leaving. Like I still feel bad for leaving because
we couldn't know.
Like it was crazy. But I got back as fast as I could.
Trey decided he wasn't going to leave again.
Nope. I'm just gonna stay here.
Yeah.
I was still in football season too. Like I had, it was a game week. So I was still in season, but I told my coach, hey, I'm not showing up. Like I ain't going to class. I ain't leaving this hospital again until I'm leaving with my kid.
Right.
Like, so I missed everything. But no, I made it, like I wasn't leaving. Like there was no way I was leaving. Not to go home and shower, nothing. I slept on that little couch. Like I wasn't leaving. So no, there wasn't a chance.
So after that scare with her heartbeat dropping, they gave me an epidural right then. Even though I still wasn't feeling anything, they gave me an epidural because they said now it's like more likely we might have to have a C-section. Like if this happens again, we want you to have an epidural and you like ready to go for C-section. After that, then they decided like let's not start you on Pitocin yet. Like let's wait a minute. And then they eventually, so things calmed down, but my contractions had like basically stopped then because they stopped the Pitocin. So nothing was progressing. I was still only at like a 1 or like a 1 at this point. And so they started Pitocin again, but just at a 1, and things were going fine. So then like an hour later they progressed it to 2 because my body still was not progressing. So it's like we need to up the Pitocin.
Right.
But once they got to like 3, the Pitocin, and I remember after the first scare, like all these people were in the room talking and stuff, but I just was like staring at
the monitor,
like watching her heartbeat the whole time. It was so stressful.
Me too. Like the entire, like once the first scare happened, all you could do was just watch her heartbeat to make sure it stayed. I think it was 150 or whatever it's supposed to be above. But like that's all we focused on the entire time. Like, oh, check her heartbeat.
Which sucks because sometimes baby does genuinely move around, and so it'll like lose it for a second, or like it'll just be off for a second. But that would be so stressful if you'd see just the one bad number and then like, oh no. So they had moved it up, and my mom walked over to me and was gonna show me a video on her phone that she was telling me about. And I was like kind of listening to her and kind of just staring at the numbers slowly get lower again until they were at about like 65, which is low.
Very low.
And the nurses still weren't coming in, and I was like, as I was dropping, I was like, yeah, hold on, like, Mom, like, I'm trying to see the numbers. And I was like, they're getting lower. And she's like, oh, like, 100, like, that's still fine, that's fine. And they're getting lower and lower. I was like, Mom, they're at 65 now. And she still was, like, trying to calm me down. She's like, the nurses will come in there, here if there's something. And then, like, 2 seconds later, in come all the nurses again. Like, so many nurses. Immediately the shot, back to my hands and knees. They put me on oxygen again. I'm just crying and just like, are you kidding me? This is seriously happening again. But at the same time, less scared than the first time, because this time I was a little bit more confident, like, that our heart rate, like, this worked the first time, it was gonna work again, I'm just gonna have to keep doing this, but it still was really scary. But I think maybe even the biggest help was that Trey was there finally this time. I didn't feel alone because I had my parents in there and Trey was in there. Same thing, the same nurse in my ear, like, okay, you know, so like we're approaching a few minutes, like, let's keep waiting a little bit longer and then we're gonna have to get you ready. And they're like, the other nurses are getting things ready as if like we're gonna have to go to the OR to do a C-section. And then again, right before it would be time for that, up comes her heartbeat again. So, Naiya, the champion. Also this time, so because I had an epidural on me before, like, I couldn't put myself on hands and knees.
Dead weight.
And I gotta tell you, I was like, I was so swollen. I was big and swollen and heavy and dead weight. Trey could barely lift me and just try to scoot me back.
It was like, that was hard.
Then they were really nervous, like, all right, your body's very sensitive to Pitocin, like, or at least this baby is, so we're not gonna start you, like, we're only gonna give you like a 1, like the lowest level Pitocin, and keep that, like, we'll see how long this labor, like, if it takes forever, it takes forever, we're gonna keep you as safe as possible. So they gave me the lowest amount of Pitocin from that point, and we all kind of fell asleep at that point. Things had calmed down. What was nice is that my OB is actually high school best friends with my dad. They've been best friends since they were in high school together, and now they're in their 50s. So he was, I think, more involved, like, inside the room with me than a lot of times OBs are. Usually they just come in maybe once, or not even sometimes. They, like, mostly just are there to deliver the baby. But he was in, even if he wasn't, he was just in there talking to my dad for hours, and they were just laughing and stuff. So that was helpful. And so I fully trusted that he was gonna do whatever was the best thing for me. But yeah, so we fell asleep. Then Trey's out on the couch. I think at this point my mom had went to go sleep in her car.
So
she went out to the parking garage.
So yeah, her dad left, but her mom stayed and slept inside her car. In
her Mini Cooper. So like in a little fetal position. In a fetal position.
Because she was afraid to leave too. Like, nobody wanted to leave because of how, like, her heart rate just kept dropping. So no one trusted that. Like, oh man. So yeah, it had been 14 hours since my epidural at this point, so it was pretty worn off. We all fell asleep. Then the back contractions started. And oh my gosh, if you have ever had back contractions, I am so sorry. Like, I had back spasms. That's gotta be close. It hurt so bad. At the time I didn't really know what they were. I hadn't felt any contractions up to this point. I had no idea what contractions felt like. So suddenly my back feels like it is going to shatter in a million pieces and just fall off my body. It hurt so bad. I looked over and Trey was just asleep on the couch, and I didn't want to wake him up to say like, I'm in pain, but I remember not trying to be quiet with my owls and like grabbing on things. At the same time hoping it would wake him up, but oh my gosh, it hurt. So they came back in and like gave me more whatever stuff for my epidural. And then I didn't feel any more contractions after that, but wowzers. Once my back contractions were gone, we were able to then just go back to sleep. We woke up in the morning and I was finally to a 10 around like 9 a.m. I was ready to push. So Trey grabbed one leg, my nurse had my other leg, and we started pushing. Pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed. And they would check, and baby hadn't moved even a centimeter whatsoever. And they just kept saying like she is stuck on my pelvic bone, because again, my cervix was not lined up straight above
the birthing canal. Is that what you'd like me to say?
Sounds very too.
So
that for sure gonna take monetization.
Oh my gosh, they don't take monetization on birthing videos for saying the anatomically.
Anatomy?
The anatomically correct words.
I don't know. I don't want to risk it.
Her head was stuck because there was nowhere for her to go straight down. She was stuck.
Yeah, so
on
they said like she was just
pelvic
like ramming just into her pelvis. Is what the doctor said. Because
Yeah.
they couldn't. It was nowhere for her to go. So it was like she might be pushing, and it just kind of. This is Naiya's head. She's like pushing though, but you're pushing
yeah,
it
it's like
into.
I'm trying to get her to go, her head to go forward,
but she couldn't because it was nowhere for her to go.
So finally, after 2 hours of pushing, it's now 11 a.m. They say, okay,
I'm gonna
baby.
drag her out.
Well,
I didn't say drag.
and Naiya's heart rate was okay through all this, but I think it wasn't incredible. It wasn't low to where they had to like panic or anything yet. Like we're going on 2 hours for pushing, so we don't want to push it too far and distress baby again. So they brought in my doctor, and he said, we're gonna try once to pull her out with forceps, and if that doesn't work, we're gonna do a C-section.
So that's the third time.
Yeah.
Third time that they've brought up C-sections. Which there's nothing wrong with C-sections. Just not how we picture it going. So
Emergency C-sections can be scary. Like
I mean, they
I
can
didn't
be
want
scary.
it. Yeah. I wanted ideally
but I don't
to
want
just
people to
have a
think like,
safe.
oh, what's wrong with C-section? I had to have a C-section. So just wanted to say that.
Yeah. So I was pretty scared, but my doctor went in there with the forceps after 2 hours of pushing, and in 10 seconds, oh, I should say, wait, first of all, I wish we had a picture of this. Because her head, was stuck on my pelvis, they had to rotate the bed back to where my
leg was above.
My head was, below. Here's my head down here. This is my little head. And my legs were up here. Like they tilted the bed all the way back. I don't know, because that was gonna help him pull her out. So gravity wasn't working for us, but that was to slide her up and out over my pelvic bone. And because she was pulled out with forceps, they had to bring in a full team of like pediatricians and doctors. So there was like 15 staff members, doctors, and things in my room.
The room is tiny.
And it was tiny. At the
tiny room. So it's like
room ever.
You rubbing elbows with people.
So I didn't realize that wasn't normal until my second pregnancy, when it was just the one nurse and the doctor in there.
Yeah.
Because with Naiya, I always had like 10 to 15 like doctors and nurses and whoever they were in there, which is fine by me. So after 2 hours of pushing, it took about 10 seconds. He sticks those forceps up there.
Took them like this, kind of like prongs. They look like
the salad scoopers.
Put them on her head.
So not the vacuum.
No, not the vacuum. The vacuum give comb heads, but the forceps, the prongs. Put them on her head and just. I mean, it took like 10 seconds. Like she's not exaggerating. Like, okay, there she is. That was. So after 2 hours of pushing, that's what all it took, was just him to pull her on out of there. Which a lot of people like probably gonna think like, oh, wasn't that dangerous for the baby? I don't know. We'll see.
Right now, she seems fine.
Right now, she's okay. We'll keep you updated if stuff starts to change. Blame the forceps.
She's so smart. She's so smart.
That could be why she's so smart. We don't know.
So it was then the most insane, crazy, amazing
rush of emotion. Oh my gosh.
Moment of my life. We will put our picture right here. We'll probably have the picture as the thumbnail maybe. My mom took the most amazing picture of literally Naiya's like 2 seconds old, right when she came out.
Mm-hmm.
I got my oxygen mask on. Trey is wiping his cute little tears with his t-shirt.
It was a great moment. I'm glad she caught that. Like, so
right.
I'm so happy she was in that room, because we would have missed that moment.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
really
so happy.
I wish honestly that we would have had like a professional videographer, photographer.
Oh no, that was Jen. Sorry.
And they put her on my chest. And it was incredible.
Did you do skin?
I mean, Trey cut the cord, clamped the cord. We didn't do delayed
No.
With Naiya, because we hadn't ever heard about that yet. I wish we would have. We did that with Jet. So I do recommend delaying.
Yes, as long as you can.
Yeah, but I didn't know about that with Naiya. So I held her, and I remember immediately, like, when Naiya was on my chest, and I was just like so overwhelmed and crying, and I just like could not believe that she was like a real person, and this was just like real life, that she was mine. It was insane. And I remember just looking over at the corner immediately at my mom. She was crying too, and she just looked at me. She just knew exactly, like, we didn't say a word to each other, just looked at each other, both just like got it. She knew, like, yep, I've been there. Mom's had 7 kids. It's just like, that's how much I love you, girl.
But it is a feeling, like, it's a feeling you can't really explain. Like, I always say it to guys, like, when they're about to have their kid, so how'd you feel? Like, I can't explain it. Like, just when you have your kid, like, you will know that feeling. And they all come back to me like, you're right. Like, it's a feeling you can't explain, man. It's nothing like looking down at your kid, man. It is, man, whew. Yeah, one of the best days of my life. The best day of my life.
Yeah.
Just a second, but.
Maybe we'll do another video of our labor and delivery with Jet.
But no, oh man.
Let us know if you would want to hear our second labor story, which was different. Long.
36 hours.
Well, you're giving all these clues. Spoiler alert. Yeah, so baby was here. Everything was fine. She was healthy. Things were great. And that's that. That's the whole birth story. Now she's 3.5.
And ain't that crazy? 3.5.
3.5.
But yeah, so that's
our birth story.
Birth story with Naiya. So stressful.
Naiya Chanel. I used to tell her this birth story when she was a baby.
She loved this story. Like, it was like, she loved hearing it.
I would always tell her, like, as if like what she was like, that she was just in there like, oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. And then the nurses came in and she was like, yeah, give me oxygen. I would tell her the whole story, and Naiya loved it. And then, I mean, so I tell her like that when she was a baby, and then even when she got older, I'd still like, we'd talk about it, and she knows. She knows what happened, and she loves it. And we are so blessed to have her.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well.
Thank you for watching.
Yes, thank you guys for watching this video.
Comment below your birth story, and we will choose 2 birth stories that stick out to us, whether because they're just so beautiful and amazing and we're jealous that it was so easy peasy, or it's just like so wild and crazy.
Yep.
We will pick 2 of them and send them gift cards.
I love.
So we will pick 2 people to give 2 $30 gift cards to Miley J Boutique.
So you can comment those 2 ways on our social medias or on this YouTube video. We'll pick somebody in a week or so. Just make sure you comment if you really want this
We want to hear your birth stories. Or if you haven't had a baby yet, maybe you've got a birth plan. I didn't have a birth plan, but let us know your birth plan. And I guess that's it. Have a great day.
Pew, pew, pew. Just kidding, no, but have a great day.
That was better than your piece, though. Do it again.
The piece is coming.
Have a great day.
No, the piece is coming.
No, do the pew pew again.
Oh, no, it's not. All right, so let me know what y'all think about starting our videos like this. Okay, go.
Starting?
I'm finna show you how to start the videos.
Okay.
Go.
Hi guys, welcome back.
What? Okay, now let's close the video. Quit playing. Good plan. Okay, we gone.
Okay, have a great day. Bye.